heard the state of Outpost Moreau is shocking. There are many disturbing finds.
I was given a full report by Colonel Rowley, who was among the soldiers who assessed the extent of the damage.
I haven't heard the specifics.
For starters, not all bodies were accounted for. In several areas, blood smears were discovered consistent with bodies being dragged off.
Anything else?
Anything else? A base full of dead soldiers is not enough for you, I guess. Well then, if your concerns are purely mundane, then you ought to know the entire armory of Outpost Moreau was ransacked. Thousands of rounds of ammunition, nails, grenades, shells. They cleaned house.
Weapons, rocket launchers, grenade launchers.
Everything, General McQuiggan. There was one curious and particularly grisly find on top of this. I can't quite wrap my mind around a guess as to why these creatures would have done it.
Grisly in what way?
Well, there were Army grunts stationed there.
I'm well aware I gave the order. They were going to participate in a security drill with a Marine stationed there.
Well, then they got more than they bargained for, but one Army grunt was found with his head sliced wide open.
Sliced?
Yes, it's believed that these creatures were armed with heavy blades of some kind. But after annihilating the base and doing whatever else it is they did, they took the time to carve up an Army grunt's skull and remove the implant.
On all the grunts?
No, only one. For being that they did this, they either had inside knowledge that the implant was there, or they have ways of sensing such things on their own. We may be dealing with very intelligent creatures.
Well, we'll find out when we take our military initiative.
But I hope to God you intend to investigate further before sending anyone else over there.
We can only gather so much from what we know, and what Lieutenant Phil reported of his experiences without sending more troops in.
Well, that's not necessarily true. A man named Jack Torres arrived here this morning. I sent for him. It is possible we can use him to see and assess the other side without endangering the lives of soldiers.
I've heard of him, but I'll be straight with you. I question the integrity of this remote viewing.
It is a documented and government-approved method, even if it does not enjoy a great deal of popularity. In the least, it is worth a shot.
That's preposterous. Next thing you know, he'll have a psychic network in here and old housewives reading tea leaves.
Jack will need a connection, even slight. Vibes, you might say. Outpost Moreau is the best candidate.
Can't allow entry into Outpost Moreau. It was shut down as of this morning, indefinitely. It's not secure.
With all respect, sir, you can't go about this half-cocked with a full military initiative. It's too premature without knowing more about them.
I'm skeptical of this Jack Torres and this psychic hocus-pocus nonsense. This is a serious threat to national security, and the attack on Outpost Moreau is an act of war. Pure and simple. We need to go by the book.
How the hell do you intend to investigate this? With those moron enforcers? Or sending more men over there just to die? We lost an entire base, General McQuiggan. And 4 of my soldiers on top of it. My conscience and reasoning will not suffer ordering any more soldiers to march off to their death.
You have no choice but to suffer it.
Then you will do it without me, General McQuiggan. I will resign.
I've allowed you to undermine my decisions in military maneuvers with that threat of you resigning one too many times already. The more you make that threat, the less punch it has. If I didn't know better, I'd say you were against the Slipgate project from the beginning.
As a matter of fact, I hope that damn Slipgate never worked, because I knew no good could come from it. Meddling with nature and science is exactly what has messed up this world to the point it is. Every blessing from science becomes a curse. It is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Right, fine. But in the meanwhile, we'll be organizing a full military response. A lot of calls have been made in the past hour. Everybody is on alert. They could appear anywhere at any time. We have to be ready.
That's not totally true, though. They came through our own slip gates.
And that's where you're wrong. Outpost Moreau had no slip gates installed.
Well, if it isn't Corporal Phil. Oh, many apologies, sir. It's Lieutenant now.
Doesn't matter what it is.
Well, many apologies regardless. I just have a difficult time imagining a coward such as yourself receiving such a substantial promotion. Are you enjoying your new status, sir?
You really think I can enjoy anything at a time like this?
I think it very suspicious that 4 out of 5 men are killed and the survivor barely suffered a scratch. Perhaps you'd be inclined to tell me what it is you did to help your fellow Marines over there.
I did the best I could, Major Band.
I am sure trying to convince yourself of that will make you sleep better at night, Lieutenant.
I don't think I sleep a wink, Major Band. And if you had half a heart, you wouldn't either.
And what do you mean by that?
I'm talking about Sergeant Maxwell, Major. You traded him like a piece of garbage. And then when you heard the news, you didn't show a bit of remorse. Some people would call you a strong man, Major Band. I'd call you an asshole.
I will excuse your inappropriate language to a superior officer knowing you are in grief. And no, Lieutenant, I have no regrets, and I did not feel pain when I was told that Sergeant Maxwell died for his country. I was proud. But of you, I cannot be proud. I can only feel shame, Lieutenant. If you were even half worthy of your rank, you would have seen to it that all 4 men returned with you.
Why don't you just leave Phil alone, Major Band? You've never seen a day of battle in your life, have you?
No, sir, I have not, but I am not blind. You are the sole survivor and suffered extremely minor injury. It sounds like Sergeant Maxwell and Elec Waters to me. Are you a coward, Lieutenant?
And where were you, Band? Why weren't you there with us? You tell me who the goddamn coward is!
I was not given the opportunity.
You want to weasel your way out of it, and you know it. I know it. We all know it. Because you're that pathetically predictable. You can talk the talk, but you can't walk the walk. I'm not going to stand here and take your shit. Now, one of us is walking away from this conversation, you or me. I'll give you the choice.
As you wish, Lieutenant. We will resume our discussion when your emotions are under control. Corporal Palisoto, I understand you have put in for a discharge.
That's correct, sir.
You will keep in mind that nothing will happen until a formal hearing. Until the day that Uncle Sam says you can walk, you will perform your duties as you always have. I will not have slackers here, Corporal Palisoto. If I find your performance is less than satisfactory, or your enthusiasm is not up to par, I will have you mopping floors and cleaning toilets with your toothbrush. Do you understand, sir?
So you decided you wanted to leave the military. And what brought that on?
I've served my mandatory time, but regardless, how could I stay after this?
After what?
Knowing that I started it. Why, if I hadn't shot that thing, Sergeant Maxwell would still be alive. Murdoch, too. And all those boys in Tucson.
Yeah. You think blaming yourself is going to help matters?
What's done is done. I can't undo it. But I am the one to blame. Well, who knows where this all is going to lead?
If you don't mind my saying so, you do no service to their memories by quitting now.
Well, I don't know what else to do. How do you do it?
To do what?
Well, be in the military. Well, be in a place like this and deal with these things and still come across so collected. How do you hold yourself together and have a sense of humor about it? Even your mistakes.
Your mistakes make you who you are, Corporal. They can break you or it can make you stronger. You gotta look on the bright side of any situation. You'd be surprised how funny the most serious things can be. This shit happens, Corporal Palisoto. All you can do is take all the good you can sucker out of it.
What about the bad?
You bury it, Corporal. You bury it deep. That's what I do. Because life is too short.